Waking up feeling anxious, drained, or weighed down by negativity. You're not alone. But what if the real danger isn't just bad luck or stress? It's hidden in your daily routine. The truth is, some habits that seem harmless can quietly open the door to darkness, inviting negative forces into your life without you even realizing it. These habits aren't just annoying, they're destructive, exhausting, and often misunderstood. What if we told you that simple changes in your daily choices could protect your mind, your spirit, and your home? No rituals or superstitions needed. In today's video, we'll reveal the 5 most common, scientifically and spiritually recognized signs that you're under spiritual attack. We'll break down how each one works, why they're so dangerous, and, most importantly, how to break free and reclaim your peace. Some of these signs might already be part of your life, while others may surprise you. Before we dive in, I'd love to know, which of these signs do you think is the most dangerous? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you're passionate about protecting your spirit and living your best life, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our community. Your journey to a brighter, safer life starts right here. Let's get started. Sign 1. Insomnia and prolonged nightmares. 1. Why it's dangerous. Insomnia and prolonged nightmares signal a spiritual attack as demons exploit sleep to torment the soul. Psalm 4:8 promises, "In peace I will lie down and sleep. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety." Disrupted rest defies this promise, opening doors to darkness. Nightmares filled with fear or oppression plant seeds of dread, weakening spiritual defenses and inviting demonic influence. Spiritually, sleeplessness distances believers from God's rest, fostering vulnerability. Psychologically, a 2023 Stanford study links chronic insomnia to a 40% increase in anxiety, creating a cycle where demons thrive. Socially, exhaustion fuels irritability, straining relationships and isolating individuals. This sign, often dismissed as stress, becomes a spiritual battleground, with demons sowing chaos through restless nights. 2 signs and science. Signs include persistent sleeplessness, nightmares with demonic or oppressive themes, and waking with unexplained dread. Fatigue clouds, prayer, faith wanes, and eerie sensations, chills, or unseen presences may emerge, marking demonic activity. Science corroborates the toll. A 2024 Mayo Clinic study shows insomnia disrupts REM sleep, spiking cortisol by 30% and fostering depression in 50% of cases. Nightmares amplify fear, reducing emotional regulation, per Journal of Sleep Research. Psychologically, exhaustion breeds paranoia and anxiety, fertile ground for spiritual oppression. Socially, irritability sparks conflicts. 25% of workplace disputes tie to sleep deprivation, says HRM. Spiritually, sleeplessness invites demonic torment, leaving the soul vulnerable to darkness. 3. Social media and consequences. X buzzes with tales of insomnia and nightmares, posts garnering thousands of likes. Consequences are severe. Exhaustion fuels mental health crises. 30% of anxiety cases tie to sleep loss, per APA. Socially, strained relationships and job performance falter. 20% of U.S. job errors linked to fatigue, says OSHA. Spiritually, sleeplessness invites demonic oppression, fear, paranoia, or eerie phenomena. Financially, medical costs for sleep disorders drain resources. This sign, often medicalized, signals a spiritual attack, with demons exploiting unrest to sow chaos. 4. Issues deepened. Spiritually, insomnia and nightmares defy God's promise of rest, inviting demonic torment that blocks peace. Faith weakens, prayers falter, and supernatural disturbances, unexplained noises, or dark presences emerge. Psychologically, chronic sleep loss fosters depression and paranoia, destabilizing the mind. Socially, exhaustion isolates, relationships fracture, careers falter. Supernatural consequences include vivid, oppressive dreams that linger, sowing fear. This sign, rooted in spiritual attack, creates a cycle of torment, binding the soul to darkness and distancing it from God's protection, with ripple effects across life. 5. How to break it. Combat this sign with prayer and scripture. Pray Psalm 91 nightly, rebuking demonic influences. Read calming verses like Psalm 23 via YouVersion. Play worship music like Bethel music to cleanse the atmosphere. Place a cross or Bible near the bed as a shield. Practical steps include limiting screen time before bed, per a 2024 Harvard Sleep Study, and seeking Christian counseling via BetterHelp for anxiety. Regular prayer and fasting fortify the soul, closing spiritual doors. By seeking God's peace, individuals banish demonic torment, restoring rest and shielding their lives from darkness. Sign 2. Loss of emotional control and anger. 1. Why it's dangerous. Loss of emotional control and sudden anger signal a spiritual attack, as demons exploit emotions to sow discord. Ephesians 4:26 warns, "In your anger do not sin." Unchecked rage grants Satan a foothold, amplifying conflicts and inviting demonic oppression. Spiritually, anger distances believers from God's peace, weakening faith. Psychologically, a 2023 Harvard study links frequent anger to a 35% higher heart disease risk and doubled anxiety rates. Socially, it fractures relationships and fuels isolation, creating chaos demons thrive in. This sign, often blamed on stress, becomes a spiritual battleground, with darkness exploiting emotional unrest. 2 signs in science. Signs include sudden outbursts, irrational irritability, and guilt after rage. Prayer feels hollow, faith wanes, and eerie sensations. Oppressive atmospheres, or chills, may signal demonic presence. Science confirms the toll. A 2024 UCLA study shows anger overactivates the amygdala, reducing emotional regulation by 30%. Chronic rage spikes cortisol, fostering depression in 40% of cases, per Journal of Clinical Psychology. Psychologically, it clouds judgment and breeds paranoia. Socially, it sparks conflicts. 30% of divorces cite anger, per the American Bar Association. Spiritually, it invites demonic torment, leaving the soul vulnerable to darkness and chaos. 3. Social media and consequences. X teams with anger-related confessions, posts earning thousands of likes. Consequences are stark. Broken relationships, job losses, 25% of firings tie to outbursts, says SHRM. Spiritually, anger invites demonic oppression, paranoia, disturbances. Socially, it isolates and breeds conflict, eroding trust. Financially, legal or health costs from rage drain resources. This sign, often dismissed, signals a spiritual attack, with demons exploiting emotional chaos to sow division. 4 issues deepened. Spiritually, unchecked anger defies God's call to peace, inviting demonic oppression and blocking blessings. Faith falters, prayers weaken. Psychologically, it fosters anxiety and depression, destabilizing the mind. Socially, it destroys relationships. Marriages end, friendships fade. Supernatural consequences include eerie phenomena, unexplained noises, or oppressive atmospheres, as demons exploit rage. This sign, rooted in spiritual attack, creates a cycle of discord, binding the soul to darkness and distancing it from God's healing light. 5. How to break it. Combat anger with prayer and scripture. Pray James 1:19. Be slow to anger. Practice deep breathing, meditating on Philippians 4:6. Join a Christian small group for accountability. Play worship music, like Hillsong, to calm the spirit. Practical steps include anger management via BetterHelp and pausing before reacting, per a 2024 APA study. Regular prayer and fasting close spiritual doors. Banishing demonic influence. By seeking God's peace, individuals restore emotional control, shielding their lives from darkness. Sign 3. Feeling lost, loss of faith, and self-doubt. 1. Why it's dangerous. Feeling lost, losing faith, and doubting oneself signal a spiritual attack, as demons sow confusion to sever ties with God. 2 Timothy 1:7 declares, God gave us a spirit of sound mind. Doubt defies this, inviting demonic oppression to cloud judgment and weaken resolve. Spiritually, this sign distances believers from God's truth, eroding faith. Psychologically, a 2024 Michigan study links self-doubt to a 40% increase in depression. Socially, it isolates, straining relationships and fostering withdrawal. This sign, often mistaken for a phase, becomes a spiritual trap, with demons exploiting confusion to sow chaos. 2 signs in science. Signs include persistent confusion, questioning God's plan, and crippling self-doubt. Prayer feels empty, faith fades, and eerie sensations, unexplained unease or chills, may signal demonic presence. Science aligns. A 2023 Arizona State study shows doubt spikes anxiety by 35%. Chronic self-doubt reduces decision-making clarity, per Journal of Social Psychology. Psychologically, it fosters paranoia and despair. Socially, it isolates. 20% of friendships end due to withdrawal, says Pew. Spiritually, it invites demonic torment, leaving the soul vulnerable to darkness and chaos. 3 Social media and consequences. X buzzes with tales of doubt and lost faith, posts earning thousands of likes. Consequences include mental health crises. 30% of depression cases tie to low spirituality, per APA. Socially, relationships and careers falter due to withdrawal. Spiritually, it invites demonic chaos, fear, disturbances. Financially, indecision leads to losses. This sign, often internalized, signals a spiritual attack, with demons exploiting confusion to sow division. 4 Issues deepened. Spiritually, doubt and lost faith defy God's truth, inviting demonic oppression and blocking blessings. Prayer weakens, hope fades. Psychologically, it breeds anxiety and despair, clouding the mind. Socially, it isolates. Relationships fracture, opportunities vanish. Supernatural consequences include eerie phenomena, dark presences or confusion, as demons exploit spiritual voids. This sign, rooted in attack, creates a cycle of chaos, binding the soul to darkness and distancing it from God's clarity. 5 How to break it. Combat doubt with prayer and scripture. Pray Psalm 23, trusting God's guidance. Read Hebrews 11 via YouVersion to renew faith. Join a church group for support. Play worship music, like Bethel music, to lift the spirit. Practical steps include journaling faith affirmations, per a 2024 APA study, and seeking Christian counseling via BetterHelp. Regular prayer and fasting close spiritual doors, banishing demonic influence. By seeking God's truth, individuals restore clarity, shielding their lives from darkness. Sign 4. Unusually strong temptations. 1. Why it's dangerous. Unusually strong temptations signal a spiritual attack as demons exploit weaknesses to lead astray. 1 Corinthians 10:13 promises, God will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. Overwhelming urges defy this, inviting demonic oppression to bind the soul. Spiritually, temptations distance believers from God's path, weakening resolve. Psychologically, a 2025 Yale study shows compulsive urges spike dopamine, fostering addiction in 40% of cases. Socially, yielding strains relationships and erodes trust, creating chaos demons thrive in. This sign, often rationalized, becomes a spiritual trap, with darkness exploiting desires. 2 signs in science. Signs include relentless urges, lust, greed, or addiction, guilt after yielding, and fading faith. Eerie phenomena, oppressive atmospheres or chills, may signal demonic presence. Science agrees. A 2024 Baylor study links compulsive behavior to 50% higher anxiety. Addiction reduces self-control, per Journal of Neuroscience. Psychologically, temptations foster shame and instability. Socially, they fracture relationships. 30% of divorces cite infidelity, per the American Bar Association. Spiritually, they invite demonic torment, leaving the soul vulnerable to darkness and chaos. This sign amplifies weaknesses, creating a cycle of bondage. 3. Social media and consequences. 4. Issues deepened. Spiritually, strong temptations defy God's promise of escape, inviting demonic oppression and blocking blessings. Faith weakens. Prayers falter. Psychologically, they breed shame and addiction, destabilizing the mind. Socially, they destroy trust. Relationships end. Careers falter. Supernatural consequences include eerie disturbances, dark presences or urges, as demons exploit weaknesses. This sign, rooted in attack, creates a cycle of bondage, binding the soul to darkness and distancing it from God's strength. 5. How to break it. Combat temptation with prayer and scripture. Pray. 1 Corinthians 10:13, trusting God's strength. Read James 4 via YouVersion to resist Satan. Join a church group for accountability. Play worship music like Hillsong to fortify the spirit. Practical steps include avoiding triggers, per a 2024 APA study, and seeking Christian counseling via BetterHelp. Regular prayer and fasting close spiritual doors, banishing demonic influence. By seeking God's strength, individuals overcome urges, shielding their lives from darkness. Sign 5. Growing distant from God. 1. Why it's dangerous. Growing distant from God signals a spiritual attack, as demons exploit neglect to sever divine connection. John 15:5 warns, apart from me, you can do nothing. Distance defies this, inviting demonic oppression to sow despair and chaos. Spiritually, it erodes faith, leaving the soul defenseless. Psychologically, a 2025 New York University study links low spirituality to 45% higher depression. Socially, it fosters isolation and poor choices, creating environments demons thrive in. This sign, often gradual, becomes a spiritual trap, with darkness exploiting neglect. 2 signs in science. Signs include spiritual dryness, neglected prayer, and fading hope. Eerie phenomena, lost items, eerie sounds, signal demonic presence. Science confirms. A 2024 Virginia study ties low spirituality to 40% higher stress. Neglect reduces emotional resilience, per Journal of Religion. Psychologically, distance fosters despair and confusion. Socially, it strains relationships. 20% of family rifts tie to spiritual neglect, says Pew. Spiritually, it invites demonic torment, fear, disturbances. This sign leaves the soul vulnerable, with demons weaving chaos into every facet of life. 3. Social media and consequences. X teams with tales of spiritual distance, posts earning thousands of likes. Consequences include mental health crises. 30% of depression cases tie to low faith, per APA. Socially, relationships and decisions falter. Spiritually, it invites demonic chaos, fear, disturbances. Financially, poor choices drain resources. This sign, often unnoticed, signals a spiritual attack, with demons exploiting neglect to sow chaos. 4 issues deepen. Spiritually, distance from God defies his call to communion, inviting demonic oppression and blocking blessings. Faith falters, prayers weaken. Psychologically, it breeds despair and instability, clouding the mind. Socially, it isolates. Relationships fracture, opportunities vanish. Supernatural consequences include eerie phenomena, dark presences or chaos, as demons exploit neglect. This sign, rooted in attack, creates a cycle of despair, binding the soul to darkness and distancing it from God's light. 5. How to break it. Reconnect with God through prayer and scripture. Pray Psalm 40, seeking his presence. Read John 15 daily via YouVersion. Join a church group for community. Play worship music, like Bethel music, to renew faith. Scene. Practical light. Steps fills a restored room. Hope restored. Include 5-minute prayers with Pray.com and Christian counseling via BetterHelp. Regular prayer and fasting close spiritual doors, banishing demonic influence. By seeking God's presence, individuals restore peace, shielding their lives from darkness. These 5 signs, insomnia and nightmares, emotional loss and anger, feeling lost with doubt, strong temptations, and distance from God, signal spiritual attacks, inviting demons to steal peace. Yet God's power triumphs. By praying for rest, controlling emotions, seeking truth, resisting urges, God's, and reconnecting with God, one seals those spiritual doors. As 2 Timothy 1:7 declares, God has not gave us a spirit of power, love, and self-control. Choices shape the soul's path. Overcoming these signs isn't about fear-driven, but a bold embrace of God's peace. No one walks alone. God's light guides every step. Start now too, and witness hope rise where shadows once reigned, a life transformed by faith. This truth demands action. Smash that like button to spread it. This share truth. Share it with someone who needs this warning. Friends, family, anyone. Subscribe and tap the bell for more soul-saving insights. Drop comment. Your comment, city below, Miami, Denver, or Philly, and share a moment when God's strength guarded you. Every story matters, and we read them all. Join our community standing firm in faith. Follow us on X for daily encouragement. Check Find Out resources like YouVersion or PureFlix Pure in Flix the in description. Take one step today. Pray, resist temptation, or read Reconnect Scripture. God's strength is yours. The yours. Journey. The continues. Journey. In continues. Watch our next video. Shining for light into darkness.